What alternate dimension have we been warped into tonight, Lou? Twins dominate the Yankees, playing spoiler. Simeon Woods Richardson, career night, 11 Ks. That was a thing of beauty. Twins take down the Bronx Bombers in game one. We got your instant reaction coming up next. It's the Minnesota Twins POSTCAST.
This is the Twins POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Twins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on? Back in the lab, back at it. Another Minnesota Twins POSTCAST right here. Locked On Sports Minnesota Network, your team every day. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Sweet Lou Hennessy riding shotgun at Sweet Lou MN. Give him a follow on X. Twins expert over at Zone Coverage MN. And of course, make sure to check out our guy, Brandon Warren. All the daily Twins content you can handle over on the Locked On Twins podcast. That's each and every day. Lots to get into. What can we learn from Simeon Woods Richardson's monster start tonight, career start tonight on the mound with 11 Ks, 6 shutout innings, by the way. We'll get into that. Biggest turning point from tonight, plus game MVP. But first, Lou, let's just jump right into the nuts and bolts. Biggest turning point from tonight. Here we go.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
All right, so Twins were up 3-0 in the 7th. For most teams, feeling great about that. For the Twins, especially against the Yankees lineup, who've owned the Twins really the last 2 decades, they've been their kryptonite, you don't feel that great, right? But then the 5-burger coming out of the bottom of the 7th, that crooked number we're always so desperate to see from this Twins offense that we really rarely have seen this year in 2025. That just blows the whole thing wide open. You tell us, though. I know there's a lot to choose from. Walk us through a biggest turning point from tonight, Lou. When was it and why?
Well, you know me. I always like to give the easy answer, which, like you said, is probably Austin Martin's bases clearing double that busts this thing wide open. But I also like to give kind of the unsung hero moment of the game. And for me, that was our guy, Simeon Woods Richardson, coming in there in the 6th inning. He had 5 really good, really clean innings. And then he came in, gave up a double, but he ended up getting through 6 clean. And like what you said, it was by far the best start of his career at this point. And it came at a really pivotal moment for him. So it's really good to see for Sim.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So what are we going to be talking about tomorrow morning after this one? I mean, shoot, I feel like you could go 2-3 different directions here. A, just beating the Yankees. That's always feels like worth popping the champagne the way they've struggled against them. B, you mentioned Austin Martin, 4 RBIs. Brooks Lee had a great night at the plate as well. But you touched on it. Good segue. Got to be Simeon Woods Richardson, man. Career night against that gauntlet of the Yankees lineup. 11 strikeouts, career high, 6 innings of shutout ball, throws a 2-hitter. What a way to end on some positive momentum and what should probably be one of his last 2 or 3 starts of the 2025 campaign, I would think. How encouraging was that to see from this young pitcher who Twins are going to rely on in 2026 and beyond? And I guess, what can we learn from what he put on display tonight?
My goodness. I mean, just what a performance. Our guy, Brandon Warren, who supplies some of the stats for the broadcast booth for the Minnesota Twins, they threw this up on the hot corner that Simeon Woods Richardson is the first Twins pitcher to go 6 innings without allowing an earned run and 10+ strikeouts against the New York Yankees. Was this the best pitching performance that a Minnesota Twin has done it? So is this the best performance that a Minnesota Twin has ever had on the mound against the New York Yankees? It just might be. So really cool for Sim. It's going to be a crowded rotation picture in 2026, and he is out of options for next year. So they can't just stash him in the minor leagues. He needs to put up or shut up. And tonight he absolutely put up. So what did we learn? We learned that he could step up and he could be kind of the guy that they were hoping when they acquired him in the Jose Barrios trade in 2021.
Yeah, you mentioned probably a lot of options back there for 2026 in the starting rotation, but man, what a great problem to have, especially when you're seeing nights like this. What was working so well? Like what part of his pitches or delivery or whatever it may be, what was just clicking tonight that maybe we haven't seen in the past from him?
I think it starts and ends with his location of his fastball. We know that he has this kind of great repertoire of a starting pitcher's repertoire, whereas sometimes relievers only have one, two, maybe three really good pitches. Sim has a lot of different options that he's still trying to figure out which he can really hone in on. But it all starts with his fastball. And tonight he was spotting it really well. He was getting some good velocity, and he was getting guys to change eye levels by going high with the fastball and then his breaking stuff low. He was looking really good with that fastball, and he blew it by a couple future Hall of Famers in Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton.
How about a little shout out too to the relievers as well? Funderburg. I know Adams took 29 pitches, had 2 walks, but he got out of a jam as well. But just to kind of keep this Yankees lineup silent for 9 straight innings, I mean that is a feat in itself. Even when you do got your starter going 6 strong and giving up 6 scoreless innings, I guess. Shout out to the relievers back there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of going into this game, I was curious because the Twins in the front half of the season were really relying on the strategy of 5 and dive, of having their starting pitchers go 5 and then go to this really good, hopefully really good bullpen. They don't have those options anymore. So I was kind of curious to see where they were going to go with it. Luckily, Sim was able to give 6 strong, go to Cody Funderburk, who has been very good since the trade deadline. We'll see how the other guys line up after, but really good start with those guys.
Austin Martin, glue guy, 4 RBIs tonight. I got to be, I've always just kind of rooted for him as a, kind of these role guys, that role dude in the lineup, utility player in the lineup, been banged up a little bit the past, season and a half, but young dude when healthy, when, he gets some good reps. I feel like can rattle off a healthy string, a couple months in a row of good, starting baseball. I feel like he just looks the part of one of those utility guys. What'd you like from him tonight, I guess, and what he brought to the table?
Yeah, I like that he has really taken this opportunity since being called up at the trade deadline. Yeah. Not a lot of guys can say that on the Minnesota Twins, but Austin Martin has made the most of this opportunity. Look, if he's got a 400 on-base percentage, that's going to play even if he's just slapping singles and doubles, even if he's not bringing a lot of power in a corner outfield position where you're kind of hoping for a few home runs every now and then. If he's getting on base at such a good clip, that's going to play no matter how he gets on. So who knows if he's going to be, scribbled in pen in the starting lineup for 2020 opening day 2026 or anything like that. But if he can show these last couple of weeks that he could be the strong side of a platoon, that could be a fun little piece to have down there with a little bit of speed, a little bit of versatility, maybe a replacement for Willie Castro, who they traded away at the deadline. That could be kind of fun.
What does a win like this do for a team who's clearly just trying to play spoiler? Trying to build, I guess, some momentum, right, for 2026. I mean, the Yankees have been the Twins' kryptonite for like 2 decades, back to Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, back in the playoffs and what have you. So even though it's late in the year, they're out of playoff contention, obviously, it's still got to be gratifying to go out there and dominate. I mean, just dominate the New York Yankees and get one of those many Yankee monkeys, if you will, off your back.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit on Friday night when they had the walk-off against the Diamondbacks of that, we're not really concerned about the win-loss record at this point, but it is important for some of these young players to feel what it's like to win. You know what I mean? Even if it's not going for, a playoff contention or anything like that, it's important for them to know that they do have the capability to beat good teams every once in a while. And hopefully next year it's a little more frequent, let's just say, but it's good for them to, like I said the other night, to feel the Gatorade shower at the end of the game, or to club this Yankees team that has just brought down this franchise for a couple decades now. It's important for young players to know what it feels like to win every once in a while.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, favorite part of the show after every victory, your official game MVP tonight. Who was it and why?
I mean, we got to go with Sim, of course. Just a really sterling performance from him. Like I said, it's going to be a crowded rotation picture next year. He's going to be competing with guys like Zebby Matthews, Taj Bradley, at the back end of the rotation there. So for him to put up as many good performances as he can, go into the offseason healthy. Look, this guy oozes charisma. He was at Twins Fest last year, and he was talking with all the fans. He did a Twins Daily event afterwards where everybody just fell in love with this guy. He's very, very easy to root for. He's got so much natural charisma, and hopefully he can bring that onto the mound next year. It's unfortunate that he dealt with that parasite infection that kept him out of action for about a month there. He's still kind of working his way back up from that. It's really hard for professional athletes to lose 15 pounds in the middle of a season and come back strong. So good for Sim. I'm sure it's going to feel really good after the game tonight, and I'm excited to see what he says to the media in the post-game scrum.
You already busted one gem out earlier. Let's see if you got one more in your bag of tricks. Nerdy stat of the day. You got any more crazy stats or fun analytics Twins related from tonight?
Yeah, the Twins, now that they're kind of out of contention, or for the past couple months, I guess you could say, they've been trying a few different things. They've been trying to steal bases at a lot higher clip. So the Twins, with their 4 attempts tonight against a left-handed pitcher, have attempted the most steals against lefties this month. So as you can imagine, when you're standing on first base and the lefty is looking right at you, it's very hard to steal a base. It's very hard to kind of get the engine revving there. But it's really cool to see them just moving along. Like I said, they had 3 steals tonight, I want to say, in 4 attempts. So I like to see it. I like to see the creativity on the base paths. We saw Austin Martin steal third base. That's now the Twins' 6th that they've stolen of steals of third, and they had 0 in the first half. So they've all come in the last 6-7 weeks here. So this team is running crazy. Let's see if they can run it in 2026 as well.
Don't go anywhere. What we loved, what we hated from tonight's game, plus a quick preview of Game 2. Zebby Matthews back on the mound. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Nutrafol. I'm sure you're like me. You've seen millions of hair ad growth products and thought, sure, yeah, right, like that actually works. There's so many products out there. Hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol, #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. It's not just hype. The supplement is clinically tested. It targets the root cause of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. Nutrafol gives you more confidence in your daily routine, and I love that Nutrafol is so simple to add to your daily routine as well. 4 pills with a meal, no prescription needed. Easy peasy, on with your day for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com. Enter promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code Locked On MLB. This episode also brought to you by FanDuel. NFL season is here. FanDuel's making sure you're ready for kickoff with this can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers, you can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you're getting $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Well, I love FanDuel. They got everything, man. Player props, same game parlay, or even jumping in live. I love that as the action unfolds. You name it, they got it. So quick, so easy, and the best way to add a little bit more enthusiasm to your Sundays. Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to get $300 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. All right, glass half full, glass half empty. Give me one thing you just really loved today. Let's just start there. One positive that's noteworthy and encouraging sign for the Minnesota Twins in your eyes.
Yeah, so we're looking at some of these young guys who are trying to kind of win over some spots in the 2026 lineup, especially. I was encouraged to see Eddie Julian getting a couple hits. That's really good for him. He's going to need to claw his way into the picture here. Same with Brooks Lee, who has more of a reserved spot in the 2026 lineup as that starting shortstop as things stand right now. He has not had a great month of September. It was really good to see him get a home run from the right side of the plate, as well as another hit from the left side. So really good to see those guys stepping up here. And it's going to be a competition. It's going to be a battle coming into 2026, and those guys need to bring their A game.
Feels weird to say, but can you find a glass half empty, or can you find one negative that you think was noteworthy in your eyes tonight?
Look, it wasn't anything killer or anything. It was a really good night for the Minnesota Twins. If you could bring anything up, like I said, there's going to be some competition coming into next year, and some of the big guys failed to produce tonight. Matt Wallner, Carson McCusker, they went 0 for 5 tonight. 2 guys that we're hoping can provide some power for this Minnesota Twins club that is lacking in it, certainly. So really hoping that those guys can start turning it on, especially McCusker. He's not going to have much of a fuse left after this month, so he needs to really, really make the most of this opportunity right now, and he couldn't do it tonight.
Quick snapshot at game 2 tomorrow, right? 6 more home games in a row. You got 12 games left on the docket for 2025. And another look at Zebby Matthews back on the mound tomorrow. It feels like the offense maybe starting to click a little bit, all things considering, just in the big picture. But after watching tonight's game just unfold the way it did, right? What are you taking away from this game that you're bringing into tomorrow as your number one storyline?
Oh, let's hope Zebby can bring some of the magic that Sim brought to the mound tonight. Zebby, he's had kind of a roller coaster stretch here. I'm very encouraged by what I've seen from most of his starts, but then we saw his last time through the rotation, couldn't get through 4, kind of got beat around a little bit. So we're really hoping that Zebby can get back on the right track and hopefully drink whatever Sim was having before tonight's game, because that would be really fun to see. He's got frontline stuff when he's on. So it's just a matter of how we can get him to turn it on. So my eyes are going to be on Zebby for tomorrow.
Yeah, bottle that up, man. Bottle that lightning up, man.
Yeah.
Sweeter than Yoo-hoo, baby. Twins stun the Yankees with offense and pitching. SWR, a career night, 11 Ks versus the Yankees. Austin Martin with 4 RBIs, 66 and 84. That's their record on the year. 7-0. That's your final tonight. Check out all Sweet Lou's work on X. Give him a follow at Sweet Lou MN. Plus all the work he's always ripping up over at zonecoveragemn.com as well. Luke Inman on X at Luke_Spinman. Game 2 tomorrow, same time, 6:40 first pitch. Again, we got Zebby Matthews back on the mound. Get you right here, same time, same place. Until then, signing off.